Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to my office. Welcome, everybody. Hope you had fun with the trivia there. Still looking for new trivia questions. Got to keep them fresh. So go check out this link right here, bit.ly/submit trivia, capital T. Get your questions in. I would love to see them. Love to see some really interesting stumpers in there. So, pardon the noise in the background. Still got some remodeling going on in the next room over. Can't do much about it. There may be some loud hammering noises at some point. That's okay. Everything's fine. But I'm sorry about that. So let's get right into it. This is number 87 of the office hours. Just me welcoming you into my office. Basically, we're going to hang out here, do some coding, try to learn some new stuff. Today's kind of a special episode. This is one of those episodes that you used to see, like the graphics, the special presentation graphics on TV. We're going to work with some Ruby today. And we're going to see how far we can get with Ruby and Couchbase today. This is an area that I am not experienced with at all. Certainly, I know enough about Couchbase to get by, but not about Ruby and not about Ruby with Couchbase. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes today. So I've got a special guest, and more on that in a second here. So my motto of this channel is the only stupid question is the one you don't ask, and this is going to be me today. I'm going to be asking a lot of stupid questions, but again, they're not really stupid because they're going to help us learn, help us demonstrate things, and help me learn anyway. So it's totally fine. If you've got questions in the chat, I may not know the answers if it's Ruby based, but please feel free to ask questions anyway. Well, we're usually able to go off on tangents with a special guest today. Maybe not as much, but we'll see how it goes. Don't want to put any sort of rigid framework around this. We're just hanging out in my office. I'm a member of Team Live Coders. Let me bring up the old browser here and show you. Go to twitch.tv/team/live coders. You're going to see a list of all these live coders who do exactly that. They code stuff live on Twitch. Lana Luck's always there at the top. But you can see a huge team here, 168 people strong. And so if you're looking for someone, looking for some live code to check out, lots of different topics, game development, database stuff, which is what I focus on, and backends, web development, HTML, all kinds of great stuff on here. So we got CLW streaming. So we'll probably come back to this page towards the end of the stream and find someone to raid. And so just think about who you might want to raid, and towards the end of the stream, throw those candidates up there, and we'll find someone to raid. Someone we haven't raided in a while is kind of the goal there. All right, and I'm also listed on the Awesome Developers streaming list. I'll bring this up here, github/bnb/awesome developer stream. This is curated mainly by Surly Dev, who's a regular and a mod in this channel. So I'm going to give him a shout out. But this is a great way. You can just check out everybody streaming. Not so much on Mixer anymore, but all the other platforms like Twitch, of course, but also Facebook or whatever else, Periscope and YouTube, etc. They're all out here. You can go find them and what the topics they're streaming about. Thank you, Calvin, for shouting out Surly Dev. I appreciate that. Calvin's also a mod here. And so there's lots of different topics, lots of different people. So you can scroll through this list, do a Control F, and look for a topic like, I don't know, let's look for Ruby. And we've got the first one here is streaming on Ruby on Rails, and we've got more Ruby on Rails, and this one's just Ruby. So lots of great places you can go to find people who are streaming about Ruby on a regular basis, because that's certainly not me. I don't do much Ruby on here except for today. You can find old episodes of Office Hours if you'd like to watch at 2x speed or skip ahead, that sort of thing, time shift. You can go here and find those videos. I pretty much export them over as soon as I can. And you can leave comments and subscribe and like and all that good YouTube stuff. Hey, AJ2017, thanks for hanging out. I hope you're ready for some little dabbling in Ruby today. It's going to be a little bit of a special episode, but I'm glad you're here. Good to see you. And if you are a regular in this channel, check out your channel points there under the chat, the Buckazoids. You can redeem them for a trivia game. I'll just stop everything and throw a trivia up there. Or I think I talked to Surly Dev at one point about making a Jackbox game, one of the rewards. I haven't done that yet, but we can throw up a quick game of Quiplash or something as a reward if someone wants to redeem your Buckazoids for that. So just keep an eye on that amount down there, those channel points, and maybe you want to save them until I make the Jackbox thing official. You can buy 32 rounds of trivia. Oh gosh, Calvin, that might be... I don't think I have enough trivia questions for that, so we'll definitely have to either bump up the price or we'll change it to a Jackbox. All right, so I want to do a little bit of recap. The last time I was streaming here, thanks to a lot of help from you all and others in the community, we got some automated integration tests going with GitHub Actions. Those are going great. So I need to start writing more integration tests probably for the chatbot. In the future, these are some things that are still kind of like on my stream backlog. We're going to eventually we're going to submit a winget package for some versions of Couchbase Server, like the community version. So Calvin was kind enough to submit one for the latest enterprise edition, and I want to make sure there's other versions out there. Maybe not the latest version, maybe the previous versions that people who are still using the older versions of Couchbase still need, and certainly the community editions as well. And we're going to have we have a special guest today, but I want to have another special guest here in the future very soon. J.R. Lawhorn, I hope I spelled his name right here, also a regular here in the channel, who's going to come on and we're going to do something very similar. Did I not say community? Did I say the wrong word, Calvin? Yes, community is what I want to get out there. So what I want is maybe like this shouldn't be 5, it should be 6. But the 6.x, but also the 5.x versions, because people are still using older versions of Couchbase, and I want to get them. Okay. Oh, I thought you did post Enterprise. Okay, you posted Community. I want to get other Community versions out there and Enterprise. Okay. Anyway, that'll be in the future. So we're going to have J.R. Lawhorn coming on, walking us through some Laravel and some of the cool stuff he's done with this Laravel Couchbase extension. We're going to check that out. And then, of course, chatbot features. I've got a big backlog of chatbot features I want to get to. But today, very special guest. We've got a regular in the channel here, Dota 2 Attitude, and I've got him on the line right now. What we're going to kind of do is, I don't do much with Ruby or Rails or anything like that, so he's going to show us some cool things about a project he's working on that's built in Ruby, and we're going to try to see if we can't get some Couchbase connectivity going from that app. We may not succeed because A, I don't know much about Ruby, and B, the current SDK for Ruby and Couchbase is like in an alpha version right now. So we'll see how far we can get with that, but we're going to try our best to get to it today. Thanks for plugging Dota 2 on there, Calvin. Appreciate that. Make sure to give him a follow, and without further ado, here he is. And I'll turn on his audio here. Say hi to the nice people, Dota 2 Attitude.
Hey, everyone.
Let's just say a quick sentence. I want to make sure the audio levels are okay.
Another quick sentence.
All right. Looks good to me. So if it sounds okay to you out there, we'll just keep on trucking. So why don't you just start by introducing yourself a little bit and sort of tell us your story and what's your deal and what are you up to?
I do stream every once in a while, Calvin. It's not very often. My name's Dota 2 Attitude, also Evan, now knows. I've been making like on a personal project, like a poker app. So this is the app here. You can see it's on like an HTTPS. You can like click different hands. There's a little tutorial. I guess we could go through it.
Do you play a lot of poker?
A fair amount.
Yeah, like real online, like for money or just for fun?
Oh yeah, for money.
Okay.
So here you pick your value hands, your bluff hands. You look, you see, oh, I only value bet a third of the time, and I bluff 2/3. So you add another hand, and now you bluff less often.
So that's making recommendations for you what to do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, and it can also do stuff like if I pick a flop. See, so there's 3 combos of ace, but if I picked king, there's 6 combos because of the removal. There's 1 card on the flop.
Mm-hmm.
So I can do stuff like figure out how often you're value betting compared to bluffing. So here I'd be value betting 3/4 of the time.
Very cool. So a friend of ours, another live coder, Jeff Blankenberg, was doing some poker stuff the other day. I think he was doing it with Alexa or Twitch chat or something. So you might want to check that out at some point too, because he probably shares your interest in poker and gambling and stuff.
Cool.
Not so much Ruby, I don't think. But
how much interest I have in Ruby, but we'll see, I guess.
So is this poker app? Looks like it's built with some sort of JavaScript framework, but is there some backend built in Ruby?
Yeah, there's a little bit of backend. So it's got some migrate files where it creates a user. This is going to go away. I'm going to use auth0. And then it's got maybe 4 tables on it. There's a password thing, which will go away. Yeah, and you can see
Right.
there's like a hand range folder and a hand range group. And I think a hand range is somewhere. Yeah, and there's the hand ranges.
Okay.
Um,
So currently, which database are you using for that, for those tables?
I believe so. On the server, it's like a RDS database. I think it's MySQL, and I
Okay.
believe it's MySQL locally too.
Okay. And
Yeah.
and is this Ruby on Rails, or is this just a generic Ruby project?
Yes, it is Ruby on Rails.
Okay. Okay. So if you're not familiar, Ruby is a programming language. Ruby on Rails is a MVC web development framework that, I mean, it's not as like huge as it used to be, but at one point it was like the biggest thing in the world, like the hottest like web framework in the world, and it was very influential and went on to inspire like ASP.NET MVC and Cake PHP and even Laravel at some point, all kind of draw from Ruby on Rails, at least in my opinion there. So I don't know if I'm brand new to Ruby on Rails, like where would I start if I just pull down your source code, which I don't know, is it on GitHub?
It is.
Okay.
I'm nervous to link it though, because I just did some AWS stuff. So
Okay.
yeah. Um,
Calvin
yeah.
is rewriting Ruby on Rails app into ASP.NET Core. That's interesting.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
ASP.NET for life, of course. So yeah, if I'm looking at your code for the first time, like as a Rails developer or if I'm a new developer, where would I start and where would I look to start reading about this code and how it works and kind of just take me through it like a guided tour, I guess.
Oh, like a lot of stuff in Rails is actually scaffolded out.
Right.
So I did not have to write a lot of code to actually get this running.
Okay.
Um,
So does the scaffolding require
okay.
you to do like a command line like Ruby new project or something like that?
Yeah, it's like rake and stuff. And,
Rake. That's right.
yeah, yeah. And there's rake roots. Hopefully that works right now. Probably one of the more useful commands. Yeah, and it shows you all the endpoints. This is
Okay.
actually an API. I use the Rails website, like the official Rails website, and I also have Udemy courses, I think,
Okay.
that I could link if I wanted to.
Sure.
I don't know if people are interested.
Yeah, if you got links, just either throw them in the chat or I'll throw them in the chat. Whatever you want to do.
Categories. I have a lot of courses.
Is Ruby something that you use um, at your current job, or is it something you've used in
Yeah,
the past? Or
the last one they wanted to switch to Ruby, but
mm-hmm.
I left before we did. But
Okay.
yeah, there's 2 courses here that I looked at, and I think I took a shorter one. It's a lot of React, this project actually. So, but like if you look at the GitHub, it's like 80% React and 20% Ruby kind of thing.
Okay.
So
That's okay. Well, we had Eric Bouchard on for an episode about React. If you want to go back through the YouTube archive and check that out.
like there's one of the courses.
Okay.
Okay. So where I am now is this repo. See if we can get over this hurdle. Where is it? So I need to run bin setup, which I believe is just Rails bin setup
Okay. And what's that? What's that supposed to do?
to install dependencies. I can also run bin console.
And where did you define the dependencies at?
So this is so when I downloaded the gem, it downloaded this bin folder, and here's the setup. Yeah, this is the setup here,
Okay.
which I brought up because I was wondering, and I wonder if I'm running that wrong. I wonder if it's Rails run. What is the runner? Blah blah blah. Okay, it might actually be Rails run. I think it is Rails bin run file. I'm just Googling here to see. I didn't see this stuff initially when I was doing it, and then saw it afterwards. So
So when you install a gem, which is kind of like
yeah,
using NuGet to install a package,
yeah.
that updates this setup file. Is that what happens?
It basically installs the it installs the gem, I guess is yeah. So it installs that package or library. So you put it inside of a gem file.
Okay. Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah, and it's got like a lock file too, just like package.lock. So
Right.
it works similar to npm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Got it. So you've
there's the
installed, I see like
Couchbase.
Stripe there and Couchbase. Okay.
Yeah,
And you see it's alpha version 5. So a little backstory
yeah,
on the Couchbase Ruby SDK. For a while, there was an official SDK, and then it kind of dropped off in interest and kind of had to be deprioritized. But recently, interest has picked back up. So they're working on a 3.0 version of the Couchbase SDK for Ruby, but it is very much an alpha right now. So there's not much, at least to my knowledge, not much in the way of documentation or tutorials on that yet. That's in line with the 3.0 release. So we may run into some of those troubles today. We're going to try to get through that if we can.
yeah. So I'm just looking through this. So bin setup is the one I want. Console's giving errors and oh, okay. Is that a good thing? And then the next thing it told me to do is rake compile. Yeah. It's not in here. I don't see compile there. Obviously installed stuff before. And I wonder if I ran the debugger, if that would help.
Do you have any special plugins in VS Code for Rails or for Ruby or for either one, I guess?
I got the debugger. You can see I got tons of. I don't think any of these are Rails specific though. Is it running? Could not locate gem file. That's not good. And look, it's looking at 2.6.3. There's 2.70. Oh, pretend you didn't see that.
I didn't actually.
Okay. I accidentally showed my end file. I don't think there's anything too big in there. There is. Shit. 6.0.3 should be fine. Could not locate gem file. Oh, I wonder if I have to open the backend or whatever inside of a separate VS Code editor.
Hmm.
Not watching chat either.
No, I keep an eye on it. So
Okay.
if anyone has any Ruby or Rails suggestions for the stuff you're seeing on the screen, feel free to chime in because I'm not going to. But if you have questions you want me to ask, feel free to put those in the chat too. I'm just also kind of browsing off screen here at some of the there's some documentation for this Couchbase Ruby client, but I just want to have it up on the screen. I'm checking it out. But I don't know if we're into Couchbase area yet. We're still looking at like getting some gems compiled into this Ruby project.
And there we go. I'm hoping if the debugger runs that I can put a breakpoint on that setup thing and then we can see what the error is. Well, why did you crash this time? The Ruby version is 2.6.3. Yeah.
That's the version of Ruby.
Yeah, but it's 2.7.
RVM is
It's like the version manager for Ruby, so it
got it.
has you can select different versions of Ruby right away.
Very much like NVM, I believe, Node Version Manager.
Yeah,
Okay. Makes
it's
sense.
probably just simple bash scripts under the hood. All right, so is it running? It is not. Why is it doing that? Bin Rails. I mean, it says 2.7.
Hmm.
I wonder if it's the debugger itself that runs that. I don't see it in the launch.json. Let's go Microsoft.
Well, that's probably more to do with. It's probably nothing to do with Ruby. Question from Calvin here: is the integrated console not picking up the RVM change? I think you ran it in the console here.
Yeah.
RVM Ruby version. Try Ruby version.
Yeah, Ruby version. No such thing.
Okay. RVM all do Ruby version? That's a lot.
This is the weirdest command ever.
Oh, it's just going through all of them, I guess.
Actually, bin.
Calvin follow up. Or the debug console is using the Ruby installation set as global. I suppose it's
Yeah, I
possible.
wonder.
You can run that from your terminal instead.
Yeah. Like
Instead
if
of
I
debugging
do.
it.
Oh, look at that.
No, that's
Oh,
RVM's
that's
version.
the RVM version.
Not very intuitive there.
No. I mean, if it's not picking up Ruby, it seems bad.
Can you, I mean, let's see. Ruby version didn't do anything. Can you do Ruby dash dash help? Maybe see something in there.
Yeah, I wonder if it's shot in the dark here. Or Ruby dash dash version.
Yep, there
There
you
we
go.
go. 2.7.0.
Yeah. Calvin was just about to say that Ruby is
Uh,
Ruby dash dash version. So now, if you run that from the integrated console, what does it say? It's 2.7.
2.7. This is clearly saying 2.6.
Yeah.
Bundle installed. Maybe it's the bundler needs to be installed again. Oh, look at that. 300 gems installed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Seemed like that worked. Does this work? Yeah. Is this running yet? Same error. Huh. 2.1.4. I wonder if I'm not using. Why would that be doing that?
Calvin suggests, what about RVM list?
Only 2.7.
So it's got default as 2.6.3. I wonder if that's.
Yeah, I How do I set the
Yeah, I
default?
wonder
I've
if you
never
can change the
changed that.
default. Hmm.
RVM default.
And do RVM list again. Didn't seem like it. Is it? Do you have? Oh wait. Do you have to say instead of RVM default 2.7.0? Do you have to say RVM default Ruby dash 2.7 something like that? Oh,
There we go.
okay. So the default
Okay.
and the current one. So let's see if that affects it. Maybe you gotta
Dang it.
maybe you gotta restart Visual Studio. I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder.
Maybe it hasn't picked it up yet.
Is this stuff anything important? Probably not. We'll go don't save.
Don't ask me.
All right. Okay. Here we go.
Guy from Mars. Hello, how are you? And it's Matthew, singular, 2 T's, but pretty close. Glad you're here. We're doing some Ruby stuff, which I am very much a noob when it comes to Ruby. I'm a Ruby newbie. I just made that up and it sounds terrible, but there you go. We're having some. This is my special guest, by the way, Dota 2 Attitude or Dota 2. I'm not sure which is the correct pronunciation. I think you said Dota 2 earlier.
Yeah, Dota. I don't know.
Dota. I don't know. I assume that's after the game, right?
Yeah, it is after the
Yeah.
game.
So there you go. You can look that up. But he's showing off some a Ruby on Rails project he's working on, and we're having some trouble with versioning. Question: is there a parse platform adapter for Couchbase? I'm not sure what you mean by parse platform adapter. I'd be very curious to know what that is. Parse platform adapter. I assume you mean parse is like a parse, some sort of tool called parse, like a mobile backend. Oh, interesting. Oh yes, I vaguely
Oh, I'm
remember
using an
parse.
API.
Yeah. Sorry, what?
I'm using an API. Like this is Ruby API. Oh,
Right.
that's okay.
I think it's
That's
just
for
general
Couchbase.
question. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do vaguely remember parse, and I think it was shut down eventually, right, or open source or something. I don't know. I don't think there is a backend adapter or a sort of parse adapter for Couchbase Mobile, if that's what you're getting at. I don't think so. Now, I will say the sync gateway part of Couchbase is very extensible. So it's very possible that someone's written it, or that you could probably put one together. I don't know how much work that would be, but it's a really good question.
Well, we are getting somewhere.
Okay.
Uh, it looks like the Ruby gems are not installed for the debugger,
Hmm.
so just gotta install those.
Are you using? Are you trying to rebuild something with parse there, guy from Mars? Is that why you ask? And you're interested, and you saw the Couchbase mobile stuff. Guess I'm just trying to figure out where you're coming from on that.
I should bring the stream back up. Oh, okay, that installed too. All right, so will this work now? Oh, okay.
Nope, different error message.
Yeah.
That's a good sign. Spring,
And
is that something
config.
that's for what I know of Spring, that's a Java framework, but what does it mean in the Ruby world?
That might be. It's either what launches it or it's for the DB. I don't remember which.
Hmm.
Spring. Yeah, it's speeds up development by keeping your application running in the background.
Okay, I see.
Um, so Why is it looking in the wrong path?
Okay, so Guy from Mars, Parse was originally built by Facebook. It's very similar to Firebase, except you can self-host Parse. That's very cool. By default, Parse uses Mongo for storing data, but there are adapters. Okay, very interesting. So, so if you're looking for a Couchbase server adapter, I don't know for sure. That would be something I'd look into more. But I will say, if you're building mobile applications, like Couchbase has like a mobile stack called Couchbase Mobile, which includes Couchbase Lite, Couchbase Sync Gateway, and then Couchbase Server. Um, but I'm guessing what you're coming from is you already have a parse project, and you're interested in maybe switching it over to use Couchbase instead of one of those other options, or at least trying that out. So I don't know. That's very good, and I'd be curious to know, um, if there is one. Probably not. I probably would have heard of it by now. But since it's open source, I suppose it could be created. Parse community.
Trying to understand this error.
Let's see.
Bug program. Oh, do I need to run bundle install? Probably. Connection reset. Connection reset. What is on? Am I running? I guess I could just put it on 3001 and that would solve. Oh, it is on 3001. And I wonder if there's any Docker containers going. There's none.
So I'm seeing some parse documentation. Maybe it's outdated here, Guy from Mars, but it looks like it's depends on an older version of Mongo, and the documentation is mentioning like MLab and Object Rocket, which I don't think exist anymore. So I'm seeing that. I'm seeing Postgres, but I'm not seeing any other adapters for like MySQL or any other sort of databases. So if you link to a few, I'd love to do some more research into it and check that out. If you're interested, if by the way, if you're interested in building a adapter for Couchbase, that would be pretty awesome. I'd love to help you do that in any way, but I don't know if that's what you're looking for or not.
I wonder if I have to install it globally.
What are you trying to install globally?
You change directories to your app, then run bundle install. Yeah, it is a bundle install problem.
Hmm.
I wonder. Yeah, look, I just installed more. It should have read nothing. It's not running. Wonder if they restart the IDE again, maybe?
Worth a shot. When in doubt, restart.
Window, restart.
I will say, Guy from Mars, I've been at Couchbase for over 4 years, and I've gotten lots of questions. The first time I've ever been asked about parse, so I do remember parse being a big deal for a while, and I'm just kind of wondering why I haven't been asked about it until now. Yeah, it looks like it's a fairly active open source project. Some activity in the last few months. Pretty cool. I'm also not much of a mobile developer. I'll be honest with that. So if if parse is still a major force in mobile, Yeah, I'll probably be oblivious to it. So we got to restart and saying the same thing.
Occasionally I have to do gem update system, and I think that's the problem. Okay, that's not the feedback thing I wanted. Nope. Gem install. Did I do that? I thought I did.
The other person's voice sounds noisy, like Apollo 11 radio mic voice. Sounds okay to me. It's not like well, he's coming over Zoom, right? So the quality is not going to be as high as mine, which is just coming directly from a microphone. Also, he is on a space station right now. I don't know if you can tell that.
I'm indeed on the space station. All right, so let's see if that works.
One of those space stations with drywall. And that pounding noise you hear, by the way, is also. It's. I'm trying to think of a good joke, but no, it's actually just some people in the next room over working on some remodeling. So.
I wonder if I need to install. Because DBase sounds like the wrong library to me. Yeah, maybe work back on the other error and not worry about the debugger. Well, I think the debugger would get us there. Ruby debug, base 19. Huh.
What is that?
It's the other library for the IDE for the debugger. Oh, and it gave me errors. Get rid of the pre. Yeah, you can see I have the one sec here. Vim key bindings on my VS Code, which is a pain.
Vim key bindings.
Yeah. I thought it would help things. I guess I was wrong.
Another tool I've not really used that much. Vim.
What is this thing? How old is this post?
You're copying and pasting from a blog post.
Yeah, and it's from 2012.
A question comes in: does the Couchbase query as complex as
Not from a
Mongo?
blog post. I just Googled why my debugger's not working here. The specific error. But
Will I be able to retrieve any data I want as per the requirements of data analysis? So I don't know what you mean by complex. Certainly, I will say Couchbase's query language is SQL. So anything you can write with SQL for complex analysis, you can do with Couchbase. I will say if you're using enterprise version of Couchbase, you also have the analytics option, which allows you to do sort of the ad hoc reporting type of queries more efficiently. But yeah, SQL is the query language for Couchbase. So if that's enough to handle your complex requirements, I think personally the Mongo query language is a little wordier and a little harder to read than SQL. That's just my view because I like SQL. I've been using SQL my whole career pretty much. which is why I like Couchbase.
PWD gives me the current. This thing's in something weird.
Yeah, it looks like you're, I don't know,
Terminal.
in a container or something.
Yeah, I couldn't tell what was going on. Okay, bundle install. Oh, there we go. I'm used to JavaScript where it automatically edits your files with Prettier.
SQL is easier to read. Guy from Mars agrees. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think it's easier to read and easier to write as well. But maybe that's just because I've been using it for so long. But based on like Stack Overflow surveys and such, SQL is still a very, very popular language. So I would agree. I think we're on the same page there, guy from Mars. I'd rather be writing SQL than whatever the Mongo pipeline or whatever it's called language. And not only is it easier to read, but if you're trying to get other people on your team to maintain, write queries, if they know SQL already, they can just get up to speed pretty quickly.
So
We're doing all kinds of yak shaving here, is what I think was happening with Ruby at this point.
yeah, well,
Which is okay.
I'm not even sure of this. Okay, so
Like shaving yaks on this stream.
I mean, the real issue is this thing not running.
Is there a tool to import Mongo database backup to Couchbase database? I don't know directly from a database backup, but certainly you can export your Mongo data to JSON and then import JSON data into Couchbase. Now, Mongo is not strictly speaking JSON, right? It's called Bison. It's a variation of JSON, but you can still export to plain JSON, I believe, from Mongo, in what's called extended JSON. So that's maybe a long answer, but basically yes. Not a Mongo backup. I'm not sure what Mongo's backups look like, but certainly from a Mongo export. Bison, like the animal. Yeah, B-S-O-N. Bison? Is that how you're supposed to say it? I always thought it was bison.
Bison?
Bison. I don't know.
I mean, maybe Spring isn't installed, I wonder?
You're hungry for bison, Calvin? And some bison burgers? Backup is exported as bison and JSON. There you go. So you can import from JSON right into Couchbase. Absolutely. And CB import is the name of that tool. But really, the data is probably the easy part. It's migrating over the other parts of your app. That's where you're going to spend most of your time, switching from Mongo SDK to Couchbase SDK, depending on what your application's written in, I guess. If you're using Spring data, not related to the Spring on the screen here, but if you're using like Java Spring framework, there is a Couchbase Spring framework, for instance. Hi, Narendev, what's going on? How are you? Thanks for hanging out, checking out the stream today. I'm doing great. We got Dota 2 Attitude here, trying to shave some Ruby yaks.
I just found your docs.
You just found the Couchbase docs?
Yeah, for Ruby.
Cool. I mean, I have a link to like an API reference over in another tab here somewhere. I can't. Did I lose it? Oh, there is a generate documentation.
There's the 2.0.
It has been a long time, Narendev. What have you been up to?
This is the Couchbase.
But this is the link I'm looking at here. I'm just putting in the Twitch chat. You've probably seen that one already, but
Parent topic.
Maybe I'll just set that as a current project.
Couchbase.com is not responding. Oh, there we
What?
go.
What's the problem?
uh,
Hang on 1 second.
okay. Do I have to install Couchbase like I install MySQL? Probably, eh? Besides
Uh,
the client, I also need like a Couchbase server running.
yes, I mean you can install it, just locally on Mac, or you install on Docker
Oh, okay.
if you want to.
I haven't done that, I don't think.
Okay.
So that could be one of the reasons it's not working.
Let's see. Narendev, I'm up to Kubernetes.
Download.
Cool. I just was presenting some Kubernetes at the Manning conference the other day. So I'm still dipping into Kubernetes a little bit. Why did Microsoft go with C# when C++ is much better? Wow, guy from Mars. That is the loadingest of loaded questions. The main difference, I would say, between C++ and C# is that C#, well, I guess the language and the platform is managed. So it comes with garbage collection. C++ does not. So it's a pretty big, I don't know. I wouldn't call it apples to apples. But Microsoft does support C++ as well. So if you want to write C++, you can certainly do it.
Whoa, 400 megs.
400 megs for Couchbase.
Yeah. I better make sure I have space for it. Check available disk space. I don't know the command off the top of my head.
I don't either. I just usually drop to the UI for that. 400 meg
guess-
is a big chunk for you.
Yeah, this is only a 250 gig hard drive, and
Oh, really? It's like an older machine or like a Chromebook sort of thing, or what?
yeah, I just got it, and I got it from somewhere in the States. But anyhow, it's like a rebuilt computer. I had a Windows computer that was way too slow. So
I see. Well,
yeah.
I've got a little bit of good news and a little bit of bad news to go with it. But Couchbase just launched the Couchbase Cloud offering.
Oh,
So you
really?
can run a managed DBAS of Couchbase. So you don't have to. You can go that way instead of installing. However, it does run on your AWS account. So
Oh,
there's
okay,
not
that would
there's
be
not like a
good.
completely free tier right now. It's just it'll run on AWS and bill you for the AWS time. And there's a 30-day trial of it right now. Now I think and I hope that there'll be a free developer tier coming later this year. And I know they've already announced they're going to offer Azure and Google later this year too.
Yeah, I know the database services on AWS are pretty pricey. Like I was quickly getting into $10 a day.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
or yeah, not even that. Like the micro one wasn't too bad, but I attached a large, which was $10 or $15, and I think the small was a little bit more, maybe $2 a day or $3 a day, something like that.
Are you talking about like
How much it
stuff like
costs just to sit
Aurora and
there?
DocumentDB and stuff like that, or?
Aurora was the small one, and the micro is not a Aurora. It's just a regular MySQL.
I got it. I got it. Let's see. Microsoft moving to Rust. I think Calvin and I talked about this before. Like
That's what the
maybe,
dev group was saying too.
yeah, like they're going to start. Either they have started or going to start converting over to Rust to write like Windows components in, like the actual operating system.
Right now, we could use VS Code Live Share if we wanted. I have
Right.
it.
That was the next question. VS Code Live Share. We're not using that. I absolutely could. However, I would be probably worse than useless because I don't know much in the way of Ruby. Yeah, C++ isn't going anywhere. It's just, in my view, the type of applications you write in C++ are different than the kind of applications you write in C#. I mean, that's just the way it is. One's managed, one's not. So I think it's not really an apples to apples comparison.
I wonder if that setup connects to the server, and that's the problem. App root. It installs the bundler. Runs a bundle install. And I wonder what bin Rails DB prepare does.
So I know that the Couchbase component is for Ruby. It's not for Rails. So I wouldn't expect those things to work with Couchbase, like setting up tables and stuff. And Couchbase doesn't even support tables. So
Right.
that
Yeah,
wouldn't.
I suspect I'm gonna have to.
It could be causing an error, I guess.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on? Maybe you can answer this one, Dota. Since you're writing React? What's your opinion on React/React Native for apps development? I assume we mean mobile apps or something.
I haven't used native actually. I've only used Rails. Like I assume you get more. Like I don't know how heavyweight React is. I suspect it's quite heavy, like JavaScript wise. So you're probably better off overall developing separate apps between in Swift and what's Android use?
I mean, Kotlin or Java these days.
Kotlin or Java,
Yeah.
yeah. But for a quick fix or like a small company, yeah, React is definitely an option.
If you're trying to do like cross-platform development, I guess. Another
Yeah.
person who could chime in on this is Calvin, because he's done some cross-platform development work with Xamarin, which is Microsoft's offering for building native apps in a cross-platform way. Don't mind that hammering noise. They are opening up the door. They're putting in some stuff around the doorway. So everything's fine here. No one's invading or attacking or anything like that.
It's almost done downloading here.
Calvin rewrote a Swift app using Xamarin Forms. So there you go. But I think Calvin's intention, if I'm not mistaken, is to also write one for Android at some point. And you're trying to get off React Native. Flutter is there. It's coming up big. Yeah, Flutter is something I've heard about. I've heard more about Flutter than I have about Parse, I would say. But again, I'm not much of a mobile developer. So how are we doing with DB
I'm
Prepare?
wondering if that's running or not.
I'm not seeing any error messages from running that.
Yeah, and that's what makes me wonder. Where is that repo?
Yeah, and they're consolidating to .NET. Yeah, makes sense.
Ruby Couchbase SDK. I also saw you have a model library that will let us like develop models, which would be helpful, and maybe I should install that as well.
I don't know if that's up to date.
Oh, okay.
That might be for older versions. I don't know for sure.
Oh, it's Rake. Rake compile is the big one that I wanted to run. Or if we could Rake gem install yard. And I think the bundle install system is what I need to do there. There we go. Rake doc. Yeah, that didn't work. Yeah, and when I was doing it myself, I couldn't really get over this hump either.
The rake doc part of it?
Yeah, I know the rake compile. Like the docs just kind of have 2 paragraphs on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was hoping maybe you would know more, but I guess not.
So if you're bringing up this page here, you're getting stuck in this part of the development here.
Yeah, this 2 paragraph thing. So I got to run bin setup, which I think is Rails bin setup. I don't think it's Rake bin setup. Yeah, that doesn't work.
Thanks for stopping by, Naren. And if you just type bin slash setup, like literally what it has there, is that, I don't know what that would do, but.
Oh yeah, is it? Oh, okay.
Was C# inspired from Java? Well, a lot of people would say that, guy from Mars. I think Anders might say that he was influenced by Java. I think probably there's a lot of other influences there. I think C++ is certainly one, but also, believe it or not, Delphi, which Anders also created. I think he took a lot of lessons from Delphi, which is a sort of a version of Pascal, and applied that to C#. For instance, like there's no multiple inheritance in C# and there is in Java, which is kind of a pretty big difference in philosophies. And you can kind of see the sort of Anders' thought process a lot in TypeScript now too, where he's kind of taking the lead of TypeScript. But I think early on in C Sharp's life, it was just like, oh, it's a Java ripoff. But if you followed C Sharp, like versions 3 through, we're not currently on 9, there's pretty huge differences between C Sharp and Java these days. It's not just semicolons and curly braces. Lots of other stuff that's different. So that seemed to work. The bin/setup.
Yeah, and I wonder if the rake compile will work now. Just making sure everything is running here. Preparing database, and I wonder if it can do that without. Oh, and the Couchbase thing finished loading.
I don't think it's going to instantiate a Couchbase for you if that's what you're thinking. It'd be cool if it did, but I don't think it's going to.
Yeah, you mean set up the database for me?
Yeah,
Essentially?
I don't think it's going to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Rake. Okay.
So it was rake compile that didn't.
Yeah, and I would bet. Help. I think I could probably get a verbose or something mode on it. Yeah, -V. That is the verbose. Rake trace.
So did you? I mean, there's something about here about CMake. Did you?
Yeah,
it says it
I have
uses CMake.
CMake, I thought.
Okay.
Oh, it's not on the shell though. Is it just make that you use, not CMake?
I don't know.
I do very little C++. So.
I
Yeah,
I
it
do
is
even
make.
less. So.
Oh, there we go. It installed. Yeah, CMake is in there too, and I wonder if the C one's not make. This GCC can run on both, or it can compile both C and C++, right?
Well, I mean, it says here
Understood
it
it.
requires both C and C++ compilers,
Yeah.
and it uses it needs CMake. So if you don't have CMake installed, then that may be one of the reasons. Install it yourself. So this is
Cannot be used past Ruby platform to gem install. Okay. Wonder if that would fix this. I read that sentence a few times and didn't understand it.
yeah. It says right there, CMake is required to build a Couchbase extension. So if you don't have CMake, you may have to install that.
So why GNU make? I wonder if just this terminal is old.
Oh, did you install CMake?
I did,
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
but
okay.
I think I hit that terminal up when I installed it.
I know on Windows I'd have to probably close it down and open it again.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see here. Poker app, I think, is what it's in. Yeah, and then yes, ls. Yeah, so that last command is what I want. It threw an error. Maybe CMake's not on the path. Yeah, I bet it's not on the path. Set path, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I need Mac. secret password.
Hmm.
Oh, there we go. Oh, it looks like it's doing
Yeah,
stuff.
it's doing a lot different stuff.
Yeah, up at the top there, it's
Yeah.
like,
Huh. So just to recap, we had to well, a CMake was a had to be in the path,
yeah,
and the other thing you had added was the platform equals Ruby.
yeah, this
Which
thing here, which it doesn't. It would be nice if, and maybe I could even suggest an edit to it.
sure.
It was written out here.
Yeah.
If this doesn't work, then blah blah blah. And this thing should be, yeah, should have like a command prompt thing like that too. But yeah,
Okay. Yeah, that'd be a good pull request, I think,
yeah.
for that README.
Wow, they weren't kidding when they said take a while.
Is this something that would only have to happen once?
Yeah, I think you would install this stuff one time and then you're good to go.
Got it. And in the meantime, you've got Couchbase downloaded. We could probably install and set that up. And
Yeah,
I
I
wouldn't
did
I
drag
wouldn't
it
feel
over
very
there.
helpless there.
Um, so Couchbase, is that what it's? Yeah, there's the server.app. And I bet this you would know a fair bit about. Oh, it's
I hope so.
verifying.
Yeah. Although, I mean, there may be some Mac specific things that I might be stumped on, but I have run on a Mac before. It's been a while, but I have done it.
There
There
we
is a
go.
fundamental difference, by the way. Probably doesn't matter who's a developer, but between the Mac version is like a special build. There you go. You got the Enterprise Edition too.
Holy frig. Should I have gotten that?
It's fine.
No.
As long you're not deploying it, you don't need to
Okay.
buy a license for it or anything. It's totally fine.
So I want to set up a new cluster, right?
That's right. Yes.
Cluster name, poker app.
Sure.
Uh,
You should add Couchbase Community to Brew. Do it. If it's not there already. Did you use Brew to install it, or did you just download it from the website?
I did use Brew, I think.
Okay, it's probably already there, Calvin. Everybody here at Couchbase uses Mac, so I would assume there.
Really? Let's see here.
Top secret password.
Top secret password. They can email to me every month, which is great.
So for the most part, you can kind of skip these disk paths unless you're really worried about that.
Easy. I only have 203 gigs free.
Oh.
I guess it's a fair bit.
So
Must have cleaned it lately.
So these are all the different services you can enable. If you want to just enable all of them, because if you want to play with all of them, you got to turn them on here. Data.
These numbers, the 512 megabytes, that mean it has a maximum of that much?
Yeah, that's the RAM quota you've assigned to it. So for data, memory, data is stored in memory first, and then to disk. So this is how much RAM you want to give it as a maximum. And I think the minimum is 256. So if you want to drop that down, and then the same thing for index and search, analytics.
If it uses 8 gigs of RAM, that's quite a bit. Like my
right.
my EC2 is only small.
So yeah, for your data, you don't need 5 gig of data for a local app. I mean, you could probably just go with 256.
24?
Yeah, or 256, whatever you want to do. And then if you don't want to use analytics or venting, you can just uncheck them, and it won't take up any memory for them.
Yeah, if I can't really go small for these, right? Like 24 or something.
No, it's got to be 256.
Yeah, no, 256. Yeah. So that will take up 1200-ish. Yeah, at the minimum. And I'm obviously under provisioning some of these things. Yeah.
So
yeah, I'd say I don't get any of this.
Well, if you want query, you're gonna need to have index. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean.
Yeah. I mean,
for
it's
99%.
Only
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Couchbase is a very much a memory-intensive database, just stick with standard global on there as well. Memory optimized means even more memory usage for increased performance.
My info with you guys.
If you want to, that's up to you.
Sure. All right.
There you go.
There we go. All right. So I have a server and it's local.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Save it.
Calvin says
Okay.
no. What are you saying no for, Calvin?
Buckets. Okay. So this is
Oh,
good.
opt out before it's
So
too late. Yeah, you just signed over your life to us.
how is this
Couchbase now
taking
owns
this
you.
long? Is it? Oh, there we go. Oh, this seems quite promising.
Ah, there you go.
Okay, so there's a command, I think, to see the docs. I didn't think we were going to get there. I was just going to be honest here.
That's okay.
No.
We got there.
Gem install yard.
Okay, I guess Yard is some sort of documentation tool I'm not familiar with.
Rake doc. Bundle install. Yard isn't in. Oh, that would be a problem. Redo this stuff.
Oh, I see.
It would be nice to see the docs.
I don't know if it's going to look different from that web page I linked there, but we'll
Oh,
see.
where did you like that?
In the chat, I'll post it here
Okay.
again in the Twitch chat. It's
Okay.
mostly, from what I can tell, mostly auto-generated, except for the homepage, which is basically just a version of the README you've been following already.
Oh, okay. Rate compile. Right. So we got that. Yard, yada, yada. Okay. So now do we have to switch things over to this? Oh, okay. There's a bunch of methods and stuff.
Yeah.
Huh. Connection string, yada, yada. Okay. I don't need the docs. But, so the DB stuff.
So I don't
Config.
know if any of the migration framework or the ORM in Ruby in Rails works with Couchbase. I don't think so. I suspect not, but I could be wrong.
It'd be nice if there was an adapter.
But if you bring up a like one of your endpoints, we could just try going through a real simple,
Okay.
connect and read some data or write some data or whatever.
I feel like, okay, let's see here. Is this thing running right now? Did this ever work?
No, I don't know.
It didn't. I can run a container. That should have it. Docker. This is the container. There we go. And then I think that's on localhost.
Well, if you're running in a container, that might be. I don't know if it'll be able to connect to the server, which is not running a container. I think, right?
Oh, I see what you're saying. How do you connect from the container to the?
Yeah.
Yeah, hand ranges didn't work. You're now inside the container. Once it installs. And I can check what ports just to see if that thing is going. I'll put this on the other screen. So one of the endpoints I was thinking was, I think this is a main one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe this would be a good one to, yeah, this is one that's used a lot. The hand ranges one that just returns every single hand range.
Okay.
So
Having a good time over there.
yeah. Let's see here. Oh, it's connected. Yeah, it should have connected to that. Oh, it's running on 80. and 3000. Wonder if 80 is the one that it's publishing to. It is. But that doesn't work. But if I go rake roots,
This is running inside a container, right?
yeah, so the VS Code is attached to the container, and that this terminal is inside the container. And ranges. I mean, that says that it's available at hand ranges. Get hand ranges. It's gonna be hard to test it if we can't hit the endpoint, eh? Oh, HTTPS. I wonder if it's on 3000.
Are you the only Canadian that says instead of A?
I say A. Here's 3000. Oh, it's just published, but there's nothing on 3000. Yeah, it would have to be inside a container within the Docker, I think. The images or whatever. There's a Docker compose for this too. That's how this knows how to run it.
Right.
That's how the container was created.
Yeah, you could do that with Couchbase as well. There's Docker images for Couchbase.
So that would be a way to connect to it then. We could do that. Is connect the Docker container. It's not really a Ruby thing.
Right.
Because I think that's the first step, right? And then this thing would have to read from it. Hand range all. Yeah, like those models are loaded directly into here. Yeah, you see it reads from an application record, and I bet if I searched here's the user one. These are inside models, yeah. Like I think we have to configure the database, this thing. Yeah, there's Postgres stuff there too.
Right.
There's no adapter though, eh?
Again, I don't think so. I'm not 100% sure on that.
And I know like Mongoid. Like I wonder if I use something like Mongoid if it would. Yeah, that's for MongoDB specifically.
Right. So
I would have to. Sorry, go ahead.
Mongoid is a Ruby library, that a Ruby on Rails library.
It is, yeah. That connects your. It connects your.
It's a Ruby ODM for Mongo and Ruby. Isn't necessarily related to Rails though, right? Looks like it's just Ruby.
Yeah. Where's that link you had there? Cluster. Yeah, I need to connect to the cluster, right?
Right. That'd be the first step of connecting to Couchbase is
Yeah.
connecting to the cluster. Now this database YAML, this is just like application or like settings.
Yeah, these are all
Okay,
settings files. Yeah.
Okay. And then can you read from those settings elsewhere in the application? Is that kind of the point of it?
Yes, like it loads the models from after it loads this stuff. Oh, credentials. This default I thought got what loads the database.yaml. I wonder. Initializers. It's definitely not cores. wonder if that GitHub has any hints. Couchbase.
Let's see if I can't
That
find
the
a.
model library you're saying is old or not going to work, or is,
I mean,
yeah,
we could look at it. I don't know for sure. We could certainly look at it.
yeah,
Um, I'm
because
wondering
this would be how to do
a
it,
if there's a Ruby.
and it's got some docs apparently. Rails generate. Yeah, this thing it looks like what I need.
Couchbase Ruby model that we're
Yeah,
looking at. So I'll post a link here. Hasn't been updated in a while though.
what is it? Whoa, yeah.
So I don't know if that will still work with the newer version of the SDK or not.
I can see
I don't
why.
know.
Am I inside the container here? I'm not. Huh. Active model implementation. Oh, so this thing uses active model. So if this thing works, it'll just work. For Couchbase gem. Yeah. How do I install this is really my first question.
The Couchbase model.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, it generates a config Couchbase YAML,
Right.
which is similar to those other YAML files I was showing you.
Got it. I'm not seeing anything about a gem for it.
Gem Couchbase model. Let's Google that and see if something.
Is there like a website for gem? So like do search for packages and such. Or
Yeah, it
gems,
looks
I
like
guess.
there's one on Ruby Gems.
Yeah,
Couchbase
Couchbase dash model.
3.3. Yeah.
Again, it hasn't been updated in a while, so I don't. If it works, that'd be awesome. But I have no idea.
Yeah, this is what gem.
I'll post a link to that in the chat because you're following along. Hey, Liquid Oxygen. Hey, yo. Just got out of my work meeting. Good to see you, Liquid Oxygen. Thanks for checking things out. We're doing a little Ruby hacking around. And by we, I mean Dota 2 Attitude's doing most of the work, and I'm just sort of along for the ride.
Oh, yeah, 2.7 definitely wasn't around back then. Must install lib Couchbase 2.4.5. What would I have installed? Oh, this is 1.3. That's a log, is it? Gem. New terminal. Oh, that's not what I wanted at all. Gem install Couchbase model. Yeah, I would assume I need this to be able to run it.
I mean, you could probably do it without this, but to your point, it would probably be, if this worked, it would be a lot less work on your end.
Yeah, it would just be like make the models and then it works essentially.
So it looks like it's missing something.
Lib Couchbase 2.4.5.
Lib Couchbase is the C library, right?
Oh, okay.
So I don't know how you install. This is a similar problem I run into with PHP, if I'm honest, really? Because it's also wrapping just the C library. But
oh, okay.
Here's a link to the C documentation. I'll put that in the chat there as well. I don't know if anything there jumps out at you. Let me see.
Lib
There's something Mac
Couchbase.
specific. Homebrew, I guess, is the way you could do it. Homebrew lib
Yeah, that would be
Couchbase,
the
maybe.
easiest way.
Yeah.
So is it
Homebrew
just
lib Couchbase 3.
okay? I think it's brew, isn't it?
Oh, I don't look. I don't know. I don't use Mac, so I'll take your word for it.
Okay.
And there's a couple other libraries like libcouchbase dev, libcouchbase tools, and so on. So Homebrew is the full name, right? Well, look. Yeah,
There we go.
got it. I understand Calvin, but I'm Mac. I'm dumb with Macs. Dumb.
Thought for a second I ran out of pop.
Ran out of to drink. You mean?
Yeah, the fluid that fuels me.
What's your brand of choice?
Coca-Cola,
Diet Coke.
Diet Coke. Yeah, yeah. I don't drink the hard stuff.
What about Zero? I like the Zero.
I never got into it.
Lib Couchbase at 3. Interesting. I think Zero tastes better, honestly, than Diet. I do like the hard stuff though. I can't be drinking as much in my old age.
I have heard that one of them, either Zero or Diet, is marketed to women, and I can't tell which one it is. I don't know.
I think it used to be Diet Coke, but I don't know
really?
if they.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen a Coke commercial in a while, honestly.
Yeah, I haven't for sure.
Mostly just like ads during baseball games. Like, hey, grab a cold Coke.
Oh, is it working this time? That'd be pretty sweet.
It would be very sweet if this old library still worked. Okay, what doesn't it like here?
I wonder if there's an old version of lib Couchbase that I could use, but then I'd have to install the old.
Right, the 2 dot, or well, whatever the version is of the, I assume a 2.x version of the Ruby SDK, right?
Yeah. Like there's the gem that's missing,
What is it?
right? That's what that's telling me.
Let's see. Failed to build gem native application, native extension.
Extension, yeah.
Okay.
I think.
So here's another one. Lib Couchbase dev, lib Couchbase dash dev. It says the
Okay.
development package required if building SDKs, which depend on the C SDK. So I think that's
Oh, that sounds more.
that,
Yeah.
that may be required as well.
Shallow cone to get complete history.
Let's see. Look at
Devel.
DevL. Yeah, that's an alternative name for whatever reason. I don't know what the difference is.
Yeah. Maybe I need to add the thing at the end with the version number. Yeah, I've used Yum. My AWS thing uses Yum. Brew install lib Couchbase. That's what I did above, though, right?
Well, you did lib Couchbase 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's already running.
Yeah.
Is there a search you can do with Brew to see if there's anything else with lib Couchbase out there? Because there's like 5 different packages listed here.
See, I don't see it there.
No, like a search the repository, like the
Yeah,
the
I thought
brew
list
repo
would.
or whatever. There's got to be more than that, right?
Yeah, there's no ways.
Brew search. There we go. Can we do brew search
search.
Couchbase to see what comes up?
Couch. That's not how you spell couch.
That's the French pronunciation, the French spelling. Couchbase.
Couchbase.
So I'm seeing lib Couchbase 2 and lib Couchbase. Looks like you already have it. And those casks are the actual server software.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. So it might not be up there anymore. I
Yeah.
guess. I don't know. Let me just do some Googling here. Way out of my league on this. But let's see what we come up with.
Examples? Examples sounds like a good folder. Which one is that in? The client has examples.
Let's say, so a brew up it says brew update is all the documentation really says. Brew update and
Yeah.
brew install lib Couchbase. I assume you've brew updated recently.
So I don't want collections or buckets, right? I want clusters. No,
Well,
collection.
cluster, you have to start with cluster. You'll eventually get to bucket and collection on those things.
Okay, because there's an example here on how to implement buckets and stuff. Oh, yeah. If you look at the Ruby Couchbase Ruby client and under examples,
Right.
I hate to copy paste code, but I might just do that.
I mean, you can do it if you want to. I won't tell
Yeah,
anybody.
I probably will. Oh, you're gonna see my password. Not a big deal. That's the cluster password. Yeah, that's the one I typed in.
Yeah, it's probably behind your firewall anyway. No one's getting to that.
Yeah.
I put a weak password in there all the time for my local instances.
Well, I did say I was the one that was emailed to me all the time, so I didn't put a strong password in. Or one. I don't think I even use that on any sites anymore. So we want managing collections.
Let's see. I'm looking at the example here. So I mean, there's a lot of code here.
Yeah,
I
there
have to
is.
go
Yeah.
through all of it. It's just showing off a lot of different features. But
I wonder if we just connected to the cluster. I'd be happy with that.
yeah, I mean, try connecting to the cluster, and from there you can connect to the bucket, from the bucket to collection, and start, reading and writing documents.
Yeah. So let's start with this. We have controllers. I have to hit the controller though.
Mm-hmm.
Right here.
Yeah, I mean, you could create a separate action if you want to
Oh,
just
that would
test
be
it
a
out.
good idea.
They won't have to mess with anything you've already written.
Couchbase search and I assume these have to go up at the top.
Did you just paste a bunch of stuff in? Is that must have
That's what I did. Yeah.
Okay. Which one
It's
did you
the
paste
green
in from?
lines. That was from managing collections.
Anything collections? Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
And just the top of it. This is where the debugger would really help.
Like I'm seeing the measure inside there.
Yeah.
I don't know what. I don't think you need that measure function for what we're
Yeah.
for basic stuff. Hear that? So yeah, bucket name. Yours. You haven't actually created a bucket yet, but you can use travel sample or you can call it whatever you want to.
I wonder if. On a second here. I made some changes here that I bet were not good changes. I thought this was in bin. Because this thing ran whenever it was on the other one. /bin. And it's probably /rails. There we go.
Aha.
Ah. Aha. Okay, so. All right, passenger is what I use now. been a while since I ran this. Oh, there we go. Hey, look at that. There's the endpoint.
Cool.
Yeah.
Look at all that.
Yeah. So I can run the debugger now. And just as a prelude here, I'm not very good at Ruby. So
Oh, great.
only 10 to 20% of the app is Ruby. So
Well, I know about maybe 2 or 3 Ruby keywords. So
okay.
between the two of us, we probably can get by. So you want to work in that Couchbase search method down there? Oh, you're just gonna call it from index. Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
that should work, right?
Okay, and so let's just look at that Couchbase search method. We've got so bucket name and scope. I assume those are strings. We don't probably need to use a scope name. We don't need to drill down that far. We're going to use just the default scope.
Yeah, my password.
Scopes aren't really a fully baked feature yet. It's just kind of a preview, developer preview feature.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. Whatever your password was, that goes in there on line 24.
Yeah, I'm gonna just scan. I just hit the endpoint again. Why is it erroring like that? Why isn't it stopping at my? This thing is not running. I don't think.
Is that how you call a method in Ruby?
I have no idea.
I really don't know.
It might just be the thing. Like I would bet I call set hand range somewhere. Hand range params. Yeah, see, it just uses that. Set hand range. Oh, so it's doing different stuff with each of them.
Those are like filters.
Yeah, that's what they are. All function Ruby. I should definitely know that. I haven't written Ruby in a long time. Oh, I need to provide brackets. Yeah, that is the issue. Like this.
Oh, you didn't have that for the index up there.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought that's a good point.
Help
Well,
us
we'll
out,
see what
Ruby
happens.
people, in the chat. What are we doing wrong here? Some basic Ruby stuff. Let's
What does it
see.
say?
Calvin, the exception indicates it made it to that method and failed during auth to Couchbase. Oh. So are those the right credentials?
Couchbase search 25. Yeah, it did. Nope. You're going to learn my top secret password.
Ah.
It was a good password for a long time.
All right. The rest of that looks correct, except, again, if we're running inside of a container, I don't remember if we are or not.
Yeah.
It's not going to be able to connect to that.
Yeah, it's failing on 26.
Liquid says if we were working in Perl, he could Liquid Auction could help, but we're not.
It's not in a container though. It legitimately
not.
didn't connect to localhost.
Oh, okay.
Is it 127 that we set it as?
Well, those should both work, right? But I mean, you could try putting 127 in there too.
I'm just trying to find where I put the, because it opens in a browser, right? Localhost.
Yes. Is the container IPv6 only? It's not running a container. I don't think any of us are running a container right now.
There is a container running, but yeah, we're not connecting to it.
Right. Couchbase Enterprise does support IPv6, but we're not. Yeah, I don't think that's the issue.
Where is my Couchbase thing?
The other problem here is we don't actually have a bucket name. You don't have a bucket of that name created, so
So
that could also be. Yeah, it says there's the error bucket not found. So that's probably the
okay.
issue.
There it is.
So if you
Poker
hop over
app.
there, so
So
what
we
you,
got to make a bucket.
if you want to do a travel sample, if you want to go with that, we can just go down to settings there on the left.
Settings on the left.
And then there's top right to sample buckets. Yep, and then just check travel sample and load it. You see a lot of travel sample in Couchbase examples. And you go
Okay.
to buckets there, and you're going to see, it's going to take a second to load here. It's 32,000-ish documents plus some indexes and things
Oh,
that
okay,
are
good.
being loaded there. So it'll take a
So
second.
travel sample is what I want. Um, Bucket name.
Yep, so that's past there. And let me just
Seems
bring up
right.
the docs here. So we've got buckets. Yes. So once we have a bucket, kind of the other stuff with scopes, I would just, yeah, there you go. It's loaded now. I would just ignore, like, get rid of that scope stuff in there,
Okay.
and we're going to go right to a collection. So you get rid of that.
Scopes. Here we go. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I would say just like like collection equals or call COLL whatever equals. We're going to define a collection object. That's what we're going to do.
I'm gonna cheat and grab the thing.
That's fine too.
Yeah.
And it's default underscore collection. Looks like the Ruby.
Scopes. Blah blah blah. Oh, we might actually have to write code, eh? Okay. So collections, scope name, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That looks like it. Okay. So something like this.
So this
This
is
is
actually going to
in-
create a new scope. We don't need to do
I
that.
don't want to do that. Okay.
No.
Okay.
This is just
So
that example you're pulling from is kind of showing off some of the stuff we can do,
okay.
but we can just go as easy as say collection equals
Okay.
and bucket dot default collection. I don't know what kind of IntelliSense you get here, but default underscore collection. Yep.
Not much apparently.
And he'll give us a
Okay.
collection object. I
Okay.
don't know if it's a method. Again, this is my.
I don't feel like any of this is helping. Okay, so
And then from collection, we can start to interact with documents.
right.
We can create one, get one, check if they exist, things like that.
Wonder why it's not stopping on the breakpoints. Because that would be nice if it did. Anyhow, so let's hit the endpoint again. Ranges.
Support operation. Unable to get a list of scopes from the bucket. We weren't trying to get scopes.
Yeah,
We took that part out.
clustered up bucket. It's 29 that failed. 29 doesn't
There's nothing.
exist.
Yeah, you probably didn't save the file.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Calvin made the same observation with a little winky
Yeah.
face.
Hey.
All right.
Okay, so did it just run? It looks like it ran.
Yeah, I mean, it's not doing anything, but
Yeah,
it did run. Normally, if we're opening a cluster like this, I'd probably also want to just, I don't know how Ruby handles it, but like in C#, I would dispose or close that connection.
Oh, okay.
I just don't know.
Yeah.
Like cluster, let me see if there's a cluster dispose
Disconnect,
or
dispose.
something like that.
It's probably in.
I'm not seeing anything along those lines.
Yeah, I'm not seeing them close it either.
Yeah, okay. Well, then maybe don't worry about it. I don't know. Maybe that's a Ruby
So I
thing.
guess I could
They care.
spit it back to the JSON or whatever. This isn't. What is this? This is just grabbing a collection object.
Well, so now think of a collection as kind of like a table or just a bunch of JSON documents, right?
Right.
So there's no actual data in there, right? So we could, for instance, say collection dot. Let's see.
Oh, it just needs collection dot scope name.
No, we don't need to get into scopes, but collection dot in .NET it's get. I don't know what it's
Uh,
called in Ruby. Um, get result.
yeah, I've seen get result before.
Is that
That's
what
the
it
same
is?
thing in WordPress. I really wish I didn't know that. I'm still scarred, but yeah.
And we'll pass in.
Get bucket. Yeah, I'm seeing get bucket here.
Where are you passing the key at? This thing. Content. Get results.
Collections. Search indices. That's what we want to do. Query indexes.
Well, no, we're not even that far yet for queries. We're just trying to look up a document first here. I'm trying to figure out how to.
We could display the indexes.
I suppose.
Oh, I know where you're in. You're in the in that docs you sent me, eh?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing.
There it is. And this is attached to bucket. Bucket.
Let me see. Is there something?
View metadata. View result.
Oh, here's CRUD. CRUD might be a good place to look. Okay, yep. Collection.get, not get result, just get.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm looking at that example file.
Oh, okay.
And then for the get, we can put in the key of a document. So if you want to find one, we'll go back over to the Couchbase in the browser
Right.
and just browse those documents and pick a key. Any
What
old
is
key you want.
this? Let's see here. I'm having a hard time picking out which browser it is. Okay, so I think this browser is just not used for anything right now. There we go.
All right. And then over there on the right side, you'll see a documents link. Just click that one.
Documents.
And here's all the documents. So that ID
Okay.
column there, those are all the different keys. So I just pick one that looks good to
Line
you.
10.
Sure. Okay, and then that's going to be passed in to that get as a string, as the first parameter there. Okay. Yep.
Run it again.
And well, so what? Probably you want to. I don't know what render does exactly. I'm guessing it's going to take the results and turn it as JSON.
Yeah,
Right.
and then spit it out to the.
Right. So I would say maybe dot content after that.
It's a method.
Looking at this sample, it is not a method. There's
Oh,
no
okay.
parens needed. I'm
Okay.
really, yeah. This is Ruby though, so I could be completely off base here.
Okay, what's the error say? Double render error.
Oh,
Let's
because
see.
you're doing a render and Couchbase search and then a render later. I got it. Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't think that would run. I thought it would just exit. Hey, look at that.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
We made it to something.
Yeah. Ta-da.
So that's a just a lookup by individual document. Now, if you want to get multiple documents, which
So I need to recreate the database in Couchbase, right?
yeah, the whatever poker data you have, you'd want it to
Right.
be in another bucket in that Couchbase server, right?
Right.
Now, hopefully, what you want to do is this code we're writing in this action here, this connecting to
Yeah.
the cluster and connecting to the collection. That's all boilerplate that you would probably have somewhere else. So we wouldn't have to do that every single time.
Right.
But I mean, it's not that much code
In
if you had
configs
to.
or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
But I think the most expensive part of this is the connecting to the cluster, because you don't want to
Yes.
you want to connect to the cluster basically once per application.
Request, yeah,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
would be awful because it's an IO request, right?
Not even per request, like per like a singleton that your app uses everywhere.
Right. Okay. And then it
Again,
just
I'm
loads
making
it, and
assumptions about
then
Ruby, so I don't know.
yeah, I've heard singletons are bad too.
Well, singletons for well,
I was told
singletons
not
get a
to use
bad rep,
that.
but for
Yeah.
some applications like database connections or
Yeah.
expensive objects, singletons make sense.
Yeah. I guess Ruby has or not Ruby. WordPress has that global WPDB thing. So
Yeah, yeah.
I wish I didn't know that.
Well, you're dunking on WordPress today. Well, we've
Well, I don't know. I just coded in it too much, I guess. But yeah.
we've got about 10 minutes left. I've got time blocked off, so if you want to, we can try writing a query here.
Yeah.
Or if if you're done, if you're tired, we can just go find somebody to raid. Whatever you want to do. This is your stream. So
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's try a query.
okay, cool.
I'm interested.
Let me see if I can find an
Okay.
example of that.
So,
Looking at query.rb.
so this airline 10 is just a single.
Yeah, you can think of it kind of like a row in a table, kind of
Oh,
like
okay. So
that.
these are all the airlines, are they?
Yes. Well, that bucket contains more than just airlines. There's routes and landmarks, all kinds of things in it. So if you hit
Okay.
that query tab over there, for instance, we can write some
Right.
SQL. So I don't know how comfortable you are with SQL. Do it,
There
Dota
we
2. Get that query. You're getting cheered
Yeah.
on by Liquid Oxygen.
Oh, there we go. Select star from
Yeah, and it's travel sample. The
travel
the thing is
sample.
that it's a dash, right? That character in the middle. Now dash is a special character for subtraction, right? So we have to escape travel sample, and the
Oh,
way
okay.
the way you escape in Couchbase, this language is called nickel, is the backticks. Oh, you got it.
Yeah.
You got it figured out. And then I wouldn't do that because that's going to query all 32,000 documents.
Oh, shit. Okay.
It's
I mean,
okay.
shoot. All right.
So you could just say limit 10, for instance, right? Give me the first 10. Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Okay.
So that's the first 10. Now it's just the first 10 any documents, right? So if we want to limit it to just airlines, then we could put a where statement in there. Yeah, so like where type equals airline, for instance. Type equals, yeah, airline in a string. Mm-hmm. And it's going to look pretty much the same. But you could also say where type equals airport for a different selection of documents.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, call sign maybe? Airport? Airport. Okay, sure. Airport.
I think airports are in there. Yep, so there you go. So now you've
Oh,
got,
okay. And there's some geos there too.
yep, yep.
Okay. Is there like any like connections, you know what I mean, between tables here? Like one to many or maybe
Yes,
to one?
and they're not tables, it's documents. But one thing you
Yeah.
can do is try type equals route. ROUTE. Route, however you say it. Okay.
Root.
And notice there you've got airline ID as one of the values being returned.
Oh, I see.
All right. So you could join on airline ID.
From inner join.
Yeah. Sure. So inner join and again just travel sample. You're probably going to have to use aliases at this point. Right. So how I would write this is select star from travel sample R as my alias.
So do you go as R? Is that what you
You
mean?
could use as if you want to, yeah.
Yeah.
And inner join travel sample as A for airline, and then on a R dot airline ID, right, equals, and then this is where it gets a little weird. We're joining to a document key, right? So
Okay.
in Couchbase, the way to get the key is there's a function called meta, META, and it's a function so of A, yep, and then dot ID after that function. No, outside the function.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and so then in your select statement, instead of select star, just be like select a dot airline ID and r dot name at the very beginning of the select star. Otherwise, we're going to get a whole bunch of stuff back. So and I would say no, just a dot airline ID,
Right.
right? Because we're pulling that from or no, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
r.airline ID. We're pulling that from the route. And then a.name to get the airline name. Yep, that should do it.
Is this needed?
Yes, keep that on there.
Okay.
Ambiguous reference to field type. What are we talking about? Oh, yeah, okay. So you need to have, r.type equals route.
All right.
Yep, there we
There
go.
we go. Cool.
So you just did a join.
Yeah.
Very
Okay.
exciting.
So joins are very similar. Just the meta is added.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird. You don't have to join on the key, but it's just, that's a common scenario. So
And this is this can happen too. Right?
yeah, I don't think there's anything missing, but yeah, you can do left
Yeah.
joins. I don't think right joins are in there, but basically right join is just
Yeah.
a left join backwards. So
Yeah. You would. Yeah. I only use. And if I'm going to chain them together, I do the brackets the same. This is the way I used to do it. Where that like this, and then I would go inner join again.
oh, you want to do like a subquery sort of thing?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't really want to now, but
Yeah,
if I wanted to,
yes,
hypothetically.
absolutely. This is
Okay.
full SQL. So anything you can do in
Okay.
SQL, pretty much you can do here.
Okay.
Or
I'm trying
when
to
I
think of
say
anything
SQL,
else that
like
I do.
most common SQL languages. So
You don't? Do you have? What do you call them when they're recursive?
like a common table expression sort of thing, or
There's like recursive CTQ or something. Does anyone know?
CTE.
CTE
Yeah,
maybe.
common table expressions. Yeah, like a
Okay.
with statement. Yes, you can do that too.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, all kinds of crazy stuff.
Can't think of anything harder than that. So.
Well, there's windowing functions, and there's all kinds of
haven't done
crazy
those.
stuff you can do, and then there's like
Yeah.
arrays that are part of this now, so that can get crazy. So, but
Okay.
if you want to do this in your app now, we can just copy and paste this query and
Oh, really?
get that, and then we'll call it a day. How's that?
Yeah. Okay.
So,
So
instead of you don't need the collection anymore, so you can just get rid of those last two lines.
okay.
Okay, and then we're going to say cluster.query, and then the string will just be that.
Oh, that's not gonna work.
You gotta escape the quotes, or however you do that in Ruby.
Because I totally know.
Is it just I don't know, is it just a slash?
I wonder if they have like a super quote. Do you think?
Yeah, your guess is as good as mine. Anybody
Like
know
a
about
Python.
escaping quotes in Ruby? Let me just do a quick Google here. Oh, backslash. Yeah, just like you do in
It is.
C#
Yeah,
or
but there's
Java.
one in there. I wonder.
Like a multi-line?
Yeah. Well, we have. See if this works.
No, not a backtick, a backslash.
Oh, a backslash.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. So I do regular quotes and then
I,
backslash when I need
I think
to.
that'll work, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So right around route there is where you need backslashes.
Yeah.
Or you could use single quotes. That'd be fine too. Okay. And so let me see here. So that is going to return let's just set like result equals that. On line 28, result equals cluster.query, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Sure. Oh. There we go.
Okay. And then result has a property called rows. So you can say like result.rows. I think that'll do it.
All right. Let's see.
Fingers crossed.
Said it worked, but didn't produce it. Oh, or did it? It did. There we go. Right on.
There you go.
Yeah. So I guess I can use that then. I can use that.
Yeah,
Then.
I mean it doesn't
Yeah.
it doesn't
I have to
really
just build the singleton, and then
yeah.
yeah.
It would be nice if it worked with those Rails models.
Yeah.
That's something I'm going. So I'm going to probably share this video with our Rails guy, because
Okay.
it's a real user like trying to get through it, and I'm
The
going to ask him.
errors whenever I was doing the compile, if he could edit those, that would be nice too.
Yeah, yeah,
Because it kind of failed silently, you know what I mean? And then it's like, okay,
yeah.
yeah.
So this is great. Thank you very much, Dota, for doing this, and maybe we'll check back in with you when you've done a
Yeah,
little more work with this
implemented it.
poker project.
Yeah.
But go ahead and plug your poker project here if you want to. Throw it up there on the
Sure.
screen.
say, what's the address again?
Hey,
Poker.
it's your
There it
project,
is.
man.
There we go. Yep. So it's a poker range analyzer. You choose hands. Aces, you choose your bluff hands, which is going to be ace queen off because it blocks aces and queens, and it's not ace king, which is too good. You're bluffing. Oh, so yeah, this is how it works. But yeah, this is essentially what it does is it lets you balance your ranges so that you don't bluff too much. You can see you're bluffing less here. So yeah,
So this is going
and
to help you make a lot of money playing poker, right?
tons of money. Yeah, you can see you have 6 combos of value there.
Is it your
A
intention
plus.
to turn this into a something for sale, or is it just like a for fun project?
Will eventually be for sale. Right now, I'm just like trying to get it. So there's solvers you can use as well.
Mm-hmm.
GTO Plus, for example, is one. Like one that's $50 or something. The pile one is more expensive. And what this gives you out is, I just hope they have a picture of the, yeah, this thing here. So
Mm-hmm.
this is telling you how much, what to check with and what to bet with. So here it's checking almost everything and betting kings or whatever. And it tells you what streets to do it on. So it kind of matches up with this, where you would say, okay, I'm going to bet kings. There's the bet, yeah, value bet, and then you would choose your bluffs as well, or your checks. So maybe queens are a check call. There's the check call with queens, and then it would count them for you. So it's kind of like an add-on to that. So you could just like totally, because you can see this thing here, it's telling you to, you know, bet ace. What is that? Queen 6 suited half the time. It's very hard to bet queen 6 suited half the time in practice. So yeah.
Okay, that's some cool poker stuff
Yeah.
going on
Cool
there.
poker stuff.
Yeah, I just like gambling games for me. I just pretty much lose. The last time I played anything, when we actually go places in person, was at a blackjack table. And
I've never played blackjack, I don't think.
what's that?
I've never played blackjack.
Really?
Like, yeah, not at a casino at least. Like against, so for play money I have, but
Sure.
not for, never for money. I've also never done slots, I don't believe.
See, slots. I can I can I can get my mind around slots. Like you just push
Okay.
a button and see what happens. But like blackjack, I went to. There's like a few places in Vegas that have like dollar tables for blackjack or $5 tables, and that's where I'll go
Yeah.
because I know I'm
Oh,
going to
okay.
lose everything. So it's just for fun.
Poker, I started off with $5 tournaments on the weekend kind of thing. So, and
Okay.
did that for a year or two.
All
So,
right.
yeah. So I'm sure I was terrible back then, but I thought I was really good. So that's the important thing.
All right, y'all. Well, thank you all for joining me. I think I'm looking at the list here of the team members. I think I want to go and raid one Kev Griff, unless anyone else has some suggestions. Dota, do you have anybody that you prefer to raid?
I'll see if there's anyone on the list, but I don't think I have. Let me see here. I don't. Would they have to be a live coder, or do you care?
Not necessarily, but if they're doing some coding stuff, probably. Since you are the guest, I will leave it up to you.
Yeah, Supcole might be good.
How do you spell that?
SUPCOLE.
COLA. Okay, we're going to go raid Sup Cole. So I've got that queued up there. If you're a subscriber, here are some emojis.
Oh, wait a second, he's
emotes,
not
copy and
there.
paste.
Oh no, this is just an ad. Just make sure he's there.
Okay. All
Or
right.
if
So
you can see him.
all right. Well, I'll see you over there, everybody, and thank you for joining me. I will be back, I think, on Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And look forward to a JR Lawhorn episode as well, very similar to this one. So if you like this, I'm gonna keep doing it with others. So if you want to be a guest, let me know. We'll do some cool stuff. But thank you again, Dota, and we'll see you all later. Hope you have a good weekend. What was that name again? Shoot.
Supcole.
Subcole. Let me go join Subcole. I didn't copy and paste either. My own raid message.
It's gone now for me as well.
There, I'll just put the emote in, the generic one.
All right. So we're slow to start off with, but once we got it going, it seemed to be fine. So.
Yeah, I think it's great.
I didn't think we'd get that far, honestly, because I was so stuck. But
Yeah, I think you did fine, and I think these kind of recordings where we show developers like actually their
Floundering.
process,
Yeah.
that helps. But I mean, it is still very much an alpha. So this stuff, it may take a while before it actually improvements reach the dock site and things.
Because the models thing, I think, would really be what's, you know,
I gotta imagine most people on Ruby are using Rails, so I think that's going to be a huge
yeah.
one for to get updated. So
You guys are mostly .NET. I don't
I
know.
I think most of our customers, like the plurality of them, are probably on Java,
Oh, okay.
followed by, I mean, probably .NET or maybe C,
Okay.
and then it's down to like maybe Node and in actual usage. I think Ruby's pretty high, but we haven't actually been supporting it very well. And then, they got some Python and other stuff in there too.
Yeah, I don't know how popular Ruby is on the web. I think it's relatively like it's okay. It kind of chugs along, but it's not .NET for sure.
Well, I mean, that hey.com, that's all written in Rails.
Oh, okay.
So, and those Basecamp guys are really big Rails advocates still. So
Okay.
it's non-zero. People still like Rails. People feel
Yeah, they
and
do.
Ruby. So
Security first and stuff too. So it would have its place kind of thing.
yeah,
That's their motto.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you very much, sir, and
Yeah, thanks.
I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to integrate with it and get my database into NoSQL because it's going to be cheaper. I'm almost certain, even with the added RAM that you guys use. Well, that is a
I
fair
hope
amount of
I hope
RAM.
that's the case. And
Yeah.
like I said, I can't make official promises, but they keep telling me there's going to be a free dev tier later this year,
Okay.
which might be, I don't know what kind of scale you're looking at, but that might be a good choice for you, like a just completely managed and free tier for you, kind of like
Yeah.
Mongo Atlas, but we're not there yet. We're a little bit behind.
So that would mean that I would connect to it like Firebase does, like
Yeah,
Firebase or
yeah.
something.
It would just
Oh,
be
okay.
up spun up there on our cloud or whatever cloud we're paying for, and you'd be connecting to it for free. I'm sure there'll be some limits to it, like size or
Yeah,
time
requests
or
or
whatever.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
requests, something like that. But
Yeah.
it'd be completely managed. You wouldn't have to install anything. I'm looking very much forward to that. So
Yeah, that would be nice
yeah,
because yeah, especially if it had backups and stuff automatically done. Because one of the like GitHub obviously controls your code base, but there's never like you have to write cron jobs or something, which I don't know how to do for databases. So
yeah. I look for a blog post coming up soon. I think one of our team members has written some backup scripts for Couchbase.
right.
So to like back it up to, you know, S3 or blob storage or whatever. So
Oh, okay, that would be good.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, man. I'll let you get back to it.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll see you later.
You